Happy Lunar New Year, gems. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah from Red Emerald Yoga. Today we're going to be doing a reading for the Lunar New Year. Okay, so go ahead and choose the card deck that is really speaking to you. I want you to choose by the card back. Okay, so pile 1 is going to be Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. For pile number 2, we have Eldritch Overload. Pile number 3, we have Diary of Skeleton Tarot. For pile number 4, this is going to be Folklore Tarot. And for pile number 5, it's going to be Baroque Tarot. So go ahead and choose the pile that resonates with you the most, and then jump down to your timestamp below, and I will see you in your reading. If you've selected pile number 1, just stay put. Hello, pile 1. If you've selected Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, this reading is for you. Okay, card number 1. This is your personality, how other people see you, and how you're coming across, okay? Here we have the Page of Wands. So people see you as somebody who's looking to expand, somebody who's very inspired, somebody who's willing to explore, and always hungry, always looking for a new adventure. You don't really care what challenges may await you. You're ready to go. That's how you are coming across. This is how to handle your finances, your possessions in this next lunar year. Here we have the Seven of Wands. Okay, this card can take on a couple of different meanings for me. This could be like all of these opportunities are arising to you, like, oh, here's an ad for this. You want this? And you're like, no, I don't want that. delete out of your email, scroll past if it's in your news feed. Or this could be, don't give up. Keep pressing on. I feel like this could be kind of like, I call this the whack-a-mole card. Every time you knock one thing down, 2 more pop up. It's like the goalpost keeps getting pushed further and further. But the way to handle your finances, your possessions, just keep chipping away at it. That's how I see your finances. Keep chipping away, keep making progress. And as far as your possessions, I feel like this could be problems with your possessions. You might be feeling like you're being crowded in, like there's too many possessions, you can't find anything, like you're always fighting with your stuff. Clean house. Or I could see this like as, especially for you homeowners, that shit keeps breaking. So just keep at these tasks as they arise. Don't let them pile up. Don't let them get the higher ground. You have to maintain the high ground. Card 3, how to look at your day-to-day life and activities. Here we have the Fool. I love it. Each new day is a chance for some great adventure. Sure, some days might be pretty shitty. There are some days you might fall off the cliff and land on your ass, but you know what? You've got that adventurous spirit. At least that's how you portray yourself. So look at each day like it's a gift. Look at each day like it's an adventure. Even the mundane, there's still something that you can bask in the sun. There's still some joy to be had. Card 4. This is what you might experience in regards to your relationships with family, close friends. This would be like close friends who you consider to be like family. 5 of Cups in the reverse. I feel like you might have some closure. You might have had a falling out with a person and finally getting some much needed closure. Now, I don't know whether this person would still be in your life or not, but I do feel like there's a healing that's going to happen. You're going to be able to pick up these remaining cups and walk back over to this bridge and cross over the bridge of your emotions back to this place of stability. There's still something that like got you down, something that you still dwell in. You know, you still relive this event over and over. And I feel like you're going to finally get some closure. Either you move past or this person, like you guys squash it and move forward. I'm not too sure. But I feel like things are going to be looking up in that department. What is my potential for my love life or romance? Here we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. I feel like you don't have to go off in search of this romance. You don't have to go off in search for love. It's right behind you. For some of you, that may be turning around and paying attention to the person who's currently in your life. Or for others, it might be maybe there's somebody who you've overlooked. And that person's been there all along, waiting for you to notice them. Card 6. How might I improve my health and my work life, my organization? Seven of Swords. Okay, I feel like there are people in your life who have all of these tools, all of these this information at your disposal. They may have tried to help you in the past, and you might not have wanted to pay much attention to it. You're like, I'm good, or you just ignore it. You're like, yeah, and then you never follow through. This is taking it and running with it. Grabbing whatever information they have, whatever tool that they have that they're like offering to you, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna pick all this shit up and I'm gonna carry it over here because my shit's on fire. Like my house is burning down. Like, oh my gosh, I need to get this. I need to get this in order. I need to really take care of it and stop like literally putting it on the back burner, you know? So if you have a friend who's a good organizer, let them help you. Maybe it's not a friend. Maybe it's like information that's readily available to you. Maybe there's somebody you watch on social media who's got all these great tips, but you never put them into action. It's utilizing that information that's at your disposal. If it's health, it's like, you know what? I'm going to grab all of these healthy groceries. I'm going to start changing my habits. My friend has been talking about this. I'm going to take that and put that into action. And it doesn't mean that you need to agree with everything that your friend says or your family member says, but it's like these bits and pieces that they all have to offer. I agree with this. I think that would be good for me, and I'm going to take those things and run with it. Card 7. How can I make stronger, healthier personal and professional relationships? These would be like one-to-one relationships. Three of Cups. Don't be a wallflower. Don't be a hermit. Get out there. Go to that party. Go to that event. Mingle. I feel like this would be, if you are the boss, then that would be lightening up the mood. You know, taking people out. I'm thinking of professional relationships here. You might need to wine and dine some of your clients. For those of you who it's like personal relationships, like you just might need to spend some quality time with a friend. I feel like this is really just putting yourself out there, not shutting yourself off. I feel like this is making yourself approachable. How to handle changes, new beginnings, and endings. Oh, look at everything as an opportunity. Okay, this is what's happened. This has ended. What new seed can I plant in my garden? Okay, this is starting. How can I make the best of it? What opportunities are available to me now? What needs my attention as far as learning and education goes? I feel like this would be about spirituality. I don't know what religion you believe in or what your spiritual practice or beliefs are, but I feel like this would be a time for learning. I don't know if you've come to a place where you kind of feel like you're stagnant, or you might feel like bored or overwhelmed, but I feel like maybe it's a time to shake things up. Perhaps listen to somebody who inspires you in a lecture, find yourself a good book, take a course. I'm not too sure. Get back to your church or your place of worship, whatever that is. I feel like yours is spiritually focused. And spirituality can mean so many different things. It doesn't even have to be like what if your spirituality is yoga? What if you find your spirituality out in the water because you're a surfer? What if you find your spirituality, running, whatever that means to you, but it's like on a deep spiritual level, reconnecting deeper with that. What do I need to celebrate as far as my reputation and my achievements go? The Two of Swords. Okay, pile one. You're either going to fall into one of two camps, okay? The first camp is going to be celebrating your achievements because you are a good problem solver. You're really good at navigating tricky situations where you don't have all of the facts. I'm thinking like a lawyer or a judge or a juror, something of that nature. Maybe a doctor, or I don't know, but like somewhere is like someone who is able to accomplish a lot with very little facts. Camp 2, you may have all of your achievements, but you're not willing to show them. You're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to put these into use yet. I don't know. Do I know enough? Do I need another certificate? Do I need to take another course? Do I need to read another book? I'm not sure if I'm ready to get up off this bench. I'm not sure if I'm ready to show people what I've achieved. I'm not sure if I'm ready to put my reputation on the line. I'm just not sure yet. So I feel like it's either like one of the two. You'll have to figure out which one you fall into because this is a collective reading. Card number 11. This is what I need to do for a healthy social life. Knight of Swords in the reverse. I feel like this is slow down. Take a breath. Let other people get a word in. Maybe you don't need to charge into the conversation. Okay, maybe you don't need to talk so much. Maybe you should ask a question and really listen to what the other person is saying without trying to figure out what you're going to say next. Being a good listener. How to embrace my mystical life, my subconscious, and my inner magic. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, I feel like you're kind of like, oh, when is this skill going to hurry up and be developed? I've read this book. I've tried this practice. I did this meditation and I couldn't focus. Like, how long is this shit going to take? And this card is saying, take it easy. It takes time. It takes practice. How much practice are you actually putting in? Are you expecting a skill that could take years to be developed, or a practice that takes years to get good at to happen overnight? You think because you did it 5 times that you're supposed to be an expert? No. This is going to take a lot more time for this fruit to ripen. So I feel like that's just allowing yourself time, being patient with yourself, enjoying the journey, coming at it with this attitude like the Fool. What was that, number 3? Day-to-day life and activities. Like even that, like you should be doing this all the time. This next card, this is your advice card. Here we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I feel like you get easily bored. You want to go after this bright and shiny thing, but you're like, okay, and now I'm bored with it. Let me do something else. And I feel like that's why your friends, why people always see you as always ready to go on some new adventure, because you're like, oh yeah, I did that, and now I'm bored. Now I'm going to do something else. And maybe that's why you're getting bored with this, because you're like, oh, I thought I would already have perfected that skill or this talent or this gift. I thought I would have already unraveled this mystery, you know? I feel like this card is saying don't give up. Be patient. I feel like a grounding practice would be good for you. Let's check out your oracle cards. So your card says leadership. Take charge of this situation. And its companion card is the curse. Oh, so I'm going to go to the book and read what it says about the curse. And I will tell you how I believe that's tying in to your reading. So that is card 14. The essence of the curse refers to the limiting stories of our ancestors and the karma from former lifetimes that preordains the events of our lives. It is the source of negative patterns, and it can show up as a disease, a destructive force, or a blockage on our creative energy. The curse holds us hostage to a false story that we confuse for reality. Recognizing the original wound that is playing out in our life can heal it. The invitation is, it is time to recognize the source of your limitations. Did your grandparents live with a mindset of scarcity? Did you inherit genes for heart disease? Were you a slave or a master in a past life? This karmic legacy is ready and waiting to be seen, to be untangled, and to be released. Honor the players and their stories. Forgive everyone and everything. Craft a new life for yourself. The medicine for this card is be aware of your actions. Act with impeccable intention so as not to create a debt or a karma that sooner or later someone has to pay. What you do to others, you also do to yourself and to the people you love the most. Now you have the opportunity to clean it up. Okay, pile one. So it sounds like your job is to take a leadership role. And I feel like this is breaking generational trauma, being a cycle breaker. I don't know if you are the black sheep in your family. It's very possible that you might be. And maybe that's why you kind of have this insecurity. Possibly. I'm possibly thinking that this could be an insecurity. Like, oh, am I ready? Like, can I do that? That might not even be from you. That might be stuff that was passed down to you. That might be like self-imposing limitations from generations past. And it's just time to let that go. I'm really drawn to, which one was it? The day-to-day activities, card 3, with the Fool. I feel like the Fool doesn't care. The Fool doesn't care about, you know, the box that people tell him that he's allowed to fit in, that he's allowed to exist in, what he's supposed to be, where he comes from. You know, he sets out ready to start anew. And he leaves all of that in the past. He only takes with him this little tiny bag and this little white flower. I love the way his body language is. You know, his heart chakra is just open. And his body language is open. Just like, yes, I'm letting my heart lead the way. I feel like, what does your heart want you to do? What is it that you feel like you're not able to say? I feel like you should do some journaling on that. Journaling for 20 minutes minimum. Writing on a piece of paper with pen or pencil. not using dictation, not typing on a keyboard, because when you actually journal on paper with pen or pencil, it does help to rewire your brain. It does help you to let go and move forward, releasing energetic blockages, recognizing that that's not our reality today, and we don't have to be bound. So pile 1, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, pile 2. If you have selected the Eldritch Overload deck, this reading is for you. Okay, let me get my little spread here. Okay, card number 1. This is your personality. This is how other people see you and how you are coming across to other people. Here we have the 7 of Potions. I feel like you are coming across as like you really don't know what you want. This could be like in your day-to-day, like in your life, kind of indecisive. This could kind of also be like a dreamer, like, ooh, look at this, like I want to do that. Oh, look at this, I'm going to be this, you know, and you start to study this or you start to read up on this and then you get bored and you're like, oh, what about this? Maybe I'll do this. Yeah, I feel like this is like difficulty committing to one thing, difficulty making a choice, probably a fear of missing out. Ooh, my dog is groaning over there. She's like, it's okay, you're not going to miss out. This is how to handle your finances, your possessions in the upcoming year. Here we have the 9 of Coins. I feel like this would be saving for your future, perhaps investing, but also being really grateful for what you have, taking care of what you have, making sure that everything is put away where it belongs, it's well taken care of, and that you're surrounded by things that truly make you happy. This would not be attaining just to have. This would be attaining things that enrich your life and releasing the things that are really not that big of a deal. Like if you go in your closet, you know, like if you haven't worn it in a year, get rid of it. You're probably not going to wear it. Really making sure that you're spending money on things that actually matter. This is how to look at day-to-day life and activities. So this would be like the mundane, you know. Here we have the Sun. Oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like this is just like really enjoying the moment. Like, okay, today I'm making dinner for my family or making dinner for myself. What would bring me the most joy? You know, like, are you just like, oh, whatever, throw something in the microwave, you know, like if that's all you got, then fine, but do it with love. Do it with some badass music on, you're dancing, you're pushing that button. If you can actually like cook with ingredients, then do it with love. If you're cleaning, throw on your favorite music, throw on your favorite lecture or one of my videos and do it with joy. Find the joy in everything. Think about like, wow, you know, all the little things like, oh, I'm going to work today. I'm so glad that I get to go to work and that I have a job. You know, I'm glad because of this. Like it's finding the joy in every little thing. This is what you might experience with your relationships with family. And this would also be like close friends that you consider to be your family, depending on your situation. Here we have a Death. Okay, so this may be like a loss. Somebody was removed from your circle. And I feel like that hole, that vacancy, you know, like this, like they were removed and now something else, somebody else is coming in to fill that spot because it's a cycle. So I really feel like focusing on the joy, you know, focusing on what you want to do. What do you want to surround yourself with? Really sending out those energetic vibrations so this hole gets filled with somebody that is vibrating on your level, focusing on what you want in your life. Like somebody's going to be moving into your circle. This is the potential for your love life and your romance. Here we have the King of Potions. So yeah, I feel like the potential for your romance and your love life is good, provided that You continue to seek the joy in things. You continue to look on the right side. You continue to surround yourself with things that are important, things that matter. Not being frivolous, not hoarding, not wasting your money on like some cheap ass shit from Wish that's going to break tomorrow. You know what I mean? Just really focusing on the good things in life. Speaking what's on your heart, communicating clearly, being a good listener. Being there for the friends and family that are currently in your life. The ones who are investing in you, those are the ones that you want to invest in. And I mean, like, this is obviously romantic. So making sure you're not living in the past, making sure you're not wallowing over this person that cannot be in your life for whatever reason. You know, honoring them, giving them thanks and gratitude for the time when they were there and allowing them to continue on their journey. How might I improve my health and work life, my organization? Here we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. I feel like this would be saying slow down. Slow down and think about your decisions carefully. Don't just rush in. Don't just throw things in the junk drawer. Don't just throw things out without considering, you know, really taking your time. Don't start on a diet or a like a workout craze. That's just going to burn out really quickly. You know, some of these fad diets, that's not going to be the way. You know, some of those things are great in the short term, but in the long term, they can wreak havoc on your body. I feel like if it's your work life, you know, really making sure that you have that balance. You're not bringing work home. You're not staying after you're clocked out. There's like a fine line, and you're not bringing your home life into work, and you're not bringing your work life into your home. How can I make stronger and healthier personal and professional relationships? This will be like one-on-one relationships. Page of Swords in the reverse. Oh my gosh. She's got this like really weird thing on her face. I feel like this would be like biting your tongue. Like there's something that you might want to say before you fully think that over and how it's going to come across. Like, hold on, count to 3 before you just blurt it out. The Page of Swords is always asking questions. The Page of Swords is always wanting to learn. It's so inquisitive, but it has the tendency to ask too many questions and maybe like inappropriate questions. So like really ask yourself before you go butting into somebody's private life, is that really something that I'm entitled to know? You know, maybe if that person wanted you to know, they would offer that information. Maybe it's not your place to go asking really personal questions. This could be like inappropriate jokes. This could be harsh truths that maybe you guys don't have that kind of relationship yet. So maybe like it could be said in a nicer way or not at all. Like if it I don't know, it depends on the situation, because again, this is like professional relationships. How to handle changes, new beginnings, and endings. Six of Wands in the reverse. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this dude right here, this dude reminds me of a virtue signaler. He's got like all the microphones on his face and he is like, oh yeah, peeps, check it out. I'm a hero. I'm awesome. Look at me. And this card's in the reverse. So I feel like this is like, don't badmouth people. When there's an ending, don't badmouth them. Don't start a bunch of gossip. Don't feed the rumor mill. I feel like this would not be glorifying your side of the story. If you're going to talk about it, just giving like, oh my gosh, I kind of get the feeling like you overshare. And maybe, please don't get offended because I'm not judging you. I'm just honestly saying what I see in the cards. Okay, oversharing or overly prying, and also kind of twisting the facts to show you in a good light. And I feel like if this is beginnings, don't put yourself up on a pedestal, because there's only one way for you to go once you've established yourself up there, and that's to come crashing down. And people will be like, oh, pile 2 person, like, I guess you weren't so perfect after all, you know. It's better to be humble. It's a little better to let other people talk about, you know, what you do well, what you are so amazing and great at, and then just smiling and saying like, oh, thank you, you know, instead of you being the one to bring that up. What needs my attention in the learning and education department? Queen of Swords in the reverse. This chick's ready for battle. She's kind of a badass. But this card is in the reverse, and I see this cat right here. The cat reminds me of her shadow. And I feel like you might need to spend some time exploring and learning about your shadow. Learning about your triggers. Learning, I'm really drawn to these spikes on her boots. And I feel like when she feels threatened, she gives like a swift snap kick. She's like, whoosh. like what? Why are you being triggered so greatly? What is being stirred up in me, and why? Really looking at that and seeing if you are reacting appropriately for the situation. Like, what is it in you that you are afraid of coming to the light? And I feel like maybe that's why you have this card coming up here. You know, I feel like there's something that you're hiding behind. I feel like this might be learning more about you. This could be because it's swords. Swords is the suit of, you know, intellect and communication. You might need to talk to somebody, perhaps a therapist or a coach, somebody who can help you to unravel the layers of yourself like an onion, you know, get to the core. This is to celebrate. What can you celebrate in regards to your reputation and your achievements? Here we have the 7 of Swords. I feel like you might have got the short end of the stick. You might have had to do some hustling, you know, you might have had to be quick on your feet. And it's like, despite where you came from, despite the shit that you had to do to survive, you did survive. You might still have some spots where you're a little rough around the edges, and maybe that's why these spikes are here on the boots. I feel like your story, like your true story, not the embellished story. I don't feel like you actually need to embellish your story to make people like you. I don't feel like you need to embellish your story to make people appreciate you or understand you. I feel like owning your shadow, that might be what it is. Like your past, where you came from, the way you grew up. Maybe even some of like the wrong things that you did, things that you did to survive. I feel like if that's coming up here in the celebrate, maybe somebody needs to hear that story. Maybe you'll be an inspiration to somebody else. This card is what you need to do for a healthy social life. The Hierophant. Oh my gosh, pile 2. I do feel like there may be some sort of a coach that you might want to seek out. Perhaps you need to reconnect with your spirituality. I feel like you might have a healthier social life if you're doing some sort of, I'm getting a group setting where there's kind of like a teacher or a guru or a religious leader or something, kind of the people all mingling together, hanging out, doing stuff together. That could be church. I could even see that applying to groups like the anonymous groups, like Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, things of that nature. But I feel like this is like teacher vibes, you know, like somebody who you look up to for advice and direction, This person's like helping lead you, like a shepherd, if you will. This is how to embrace my mystical life, your subconscious and your own inner magic. Here we have the Three of Potions. You're hanging out with people, like-minded people, not like a Zen retreat, but I feel like a more lively, energetic retreat. Something mystical or, something of that nature. I could see that with that card too. Ooh, you know what I could even see this as? I could even see that as like a workshop, like a local workshop where you guys are learning about, like astrology or tarot or glow in the dark yoga with like body paint or something, something fun. Okay, next card. Oh, okay, so this card is your advice card, okay? Here we have the Five of Potions in the reverse. I feel like you've lost something and it was really upsetting. You kind of dwelled there for a while. But your advice, I feel like you're on the cusp of coming out of that. You're like so close. Your advice is like, yeah, you know what? Pick up your 2 remaining cups and chase the sun. Throw out that shit from behind, like whatever reminds you of that, whatever you've lost, you know what I mean? Like if it's weighing you down, if it's dragging you down, if it's keeping you stuck, get rid of it. Surround yourself by things that make you feel good. Make a decision. No decision is still a decision. So make a decision, stick with it. Get advice if you need to from your teacher, your coach, your guru, your leader, whatever. And don't cry over spilled milk. People want to leave, let them leave. You can't force them. You can't force them to stay. Somebody moved away. Somebody passed on. Remember the good times. But also remember that you're still here and you have to go on. This next card jumped out at me, so I decided I was going to keep it as part of your reading. Here we have the Ace of Potions, and your card is in the reverse. I feel like you might be feeling uninspired, just kind of like this card, the Five of Cups, just empty. Like that could have something to do with card over here, and maybe that's why like you put on this mask and you hide behind it. Again, there's another card where I felt like the mask, maybe like you use these words, you use these things that you say as a way of like kind of protecting yourself, as a way of keeping people at bay. That's like a verbal little snap kick, like stay back. But I feel like this card is reminding you like, you know what, there's so much potential. You do have the potential to be good. You do have the potential for greatness. And all you have to do is tap in. What are you filling your cups with? Like they say, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So you can choose to fill your cup with whatever you feel like you want to fill it with. What is your cup? How do you fill it? That's like, what kind of books are you reading? What are you choosing to watch on TV? What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of words do you use in your day-to-day? What kind of messages are you telling people, like in your text messages or your social media posts? How do you communicate with your friends? I don't know if I said this already. What kind of jokes are you telling? Are they things that lift you up? Are they things that lift others up? Or are they things that put you down? Are you putting other people down so you can climb on their backs and be like, yeah, I'm on top? So here we have travel. I did feel like over here, like it could be some sort of retreat or something of that nature. Let me see what this card says and see how it's tying in over here with this travel card. Oh, we have the spiral. I love it. Okay, I'm going to go to the book. Then I will tell you how I believe it's tying into your reading. Card 50 Okay, the essence of this card. From galaxies in the sky to diminutive shells at the beach, the spiral is found extensively in the natural world. Its shape in the form of a coiled serpent has been used since ancient times as a tool for growth and transformation. The spiral is a guide for entering deep into one's consciousness and the unknown, and then extending far out into the heavens. It is crucial to surrender to this journey until the exhausted paradigm dissolves in the depths of the psyche and its energy is released to give birth to a new reality. The invitation of this card is to renew yourself. You must shed your old skin. You have already done this, so do not keep scraping away at the old, but welcome the new soft skin that is starting to grow. Oh my gosh. So I feel like that might be a scary thing. Like, oh my gosh, this skin is so tender, and like maybe because of the past, things like old life experiences. I feel like that's why you put on this tough exterior. I'm really drawn to these two cards here with all of these spikes. And like even like how they say like the eyes are the windows to the soul, and this person has these glasses on, like don't look in my eyes. Don't look in my soul, because then you might know my deepest, darkest secrets. When you're eye gazing, when you're a kid, you don't call it eye gazing, you call it a staring contest. And you're looking and you're looking and you're looking, and then before you know it, somebody's busting up laughing. Somebody looks away, and why? Why is it so funny? You're just like looking at somebody's eyes, but you're not just looking at somebody's eyes. Energetically, you're peering into them. And you get embarrassed. It makes you uncomfortable. Because you're like, oh my God, that person knows, like, do they know? Do they know that thing that I did? And I feel like that's why these sunglasses are here. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. Welcome the soft new skin that is starting to grow. Break the habit of working on your faults all the time and let nature take its course. Know that a new skin feels vulnerable and scary at times. Trust the medicine of the spiral as it guides your journey of renewal. The medicine. The spiral announces a descent to the depths and a rebirth. Oh my gosh. And you literally have the death card here in the reverse, which is like a rebirth. Allow nothing to get in the way of this process, as the time is right and the forces of nature are supporting you in this endeavor. Using stones, twigs, or yarn, build a spiral on the ground that is large enough to walk through, with at least 3 turns. Enter the spiral slowly. Once in the center, offer to the earth the feelings or situations that you no longer want in your life. As you walk back the way you entered, feel recharged for your new journey. I love it. I'm wondering if you need to do some sort of travel. This could be long range travel or short range travel. Go someplace where you feel is sacred. That could be a park. That could be your favorite river, a lake, a stream, the ocean, a mountain, whatever. But go to a sacred place and build this spiral. I even suggest doing some journaling and writing down what it is that you want to leave behind. And taking with you like a little shovel or something, a little garden tool, whatever they're called, and burying it at the center of the spiral. And then when you leave, you're walking back through the spiral and you're leaving that behind. So pile 2, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, gems. If you have selected Diary of Skeleton Tarot, this reading is for you. Pile 3. Okay. Oh, where's my spread? Here it is. Okay. Card number 1. This is your personality. This is how other people see you and how you are coming across to others. Here we have the 7 of Cups. Okay. This just came up in the last reading too. I feel like you're coming across as indecisive, and it's not really knowing what you want. You might start a project and then get bored or easily distracted and then just kind of leave it there, or you might have difficulty making a decision, making a commitment. I'm getting a different feeling in this reading than I did in the last one. In this one, I'm strongly getting like an indecisiveness, a fear of making commitments, but it's more like commitments, like saying yes. It's more fear of saying yes in this reading. I feel like you are the person who might get invited to events and you either say yes with no intention of going, or you're like a maybe person. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, I'll think about it. And then you hope that the person will forget that they invited you. This is how to handle your finances and your possessions in the upcoming year. The Lovers in the reverse. Normally the Lovers is all about making good decisions. I see this as balancing the masculine and the feminine energies, the yin and the yang. Well, that would be the yang and the yin, but this is how to handle your finances and your possessions. I'm wondering if you're going to need to make some tough decisions, some decisions that others might find to be unfair. You might have to say no. You might have to make decisions that people are not going to like. But ultimately, I feel like it's going to be for the best. I feel like some feathers might get ruffled with this. You might piss people off. You might make people really agitated. Now, I don't know which people that's going to be. That could be prospective salespeople trying to present something to you. Somebody's making like some sales spiel and you're like, no, you know, maybe they get mad at you, or perhaps there's somebody from your friend or your family group who's trying to sell you something, an idea, whatever, and that may cause some disharmony. You have to make a decision that's going to serve you, even if it might upset other people. Like that might be like, you know what, we can't go on vacation this year. You know what, you can't have that new phone. I feel like that's going to be a tough decision. How to look at day-to-day life and activities. This would be like your boring everyday life, just the mundane. How do we look at that? Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So in the upright, I could see that like, I could see that as an equal exchange of energy. I'm wondering what kind of people you are in your life, pile 3 person. Again, I feel like this would be looking at your day-to-day life activities, like what's going to suit you? Are you overextending yourself? I'm wondering if you're overextending yourself, if people are taking advantage of you, and it's time for you to put your foot down this Lunar New Year and be like, no. I finally come to a place in my life where I'm not going to be your doormat. I'm not going to be your ATM. I'm not going to be a pushover. You're not going to take advantage of me. I'm not just going to keep giving and getting nothing in return. Are you the person that picks up the slack for everybody else? Are you a people pleaser? It's okay to say yes, but people shouldn't expect you to say yes. If they're asking you a question, you know, it's not a given that you're supposed to say yes just because they asked you. This is what you might experience in regards to your relationships with family and also close friends who you consider to be like family. The Fool in the reverse. There may be some mistakes that are made. I don't know if that's going to be you or them. I'm really drawn to this Lovers card and how it's closely followed by that Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Maybe that's why you don't want to make commitments to people, because maybe people take advantage of you when you go places. I feel like people might be coming at you with this like really impractical and immature bullshit that you're just like, you might not even know how to respond. You're just like, what? And when you find yourself in that situation, coming back over here to the Six of Pentacles and the reverse and the Lovers, like you might have to make a hard decision. This is your potential for your love life and your romance. Here we have Judgment in the reverse. People are literally rising from the dead in the upright. But there's a call, like they have to answer a call. You know, it's not just like, boop, we sounded the horn and now, holy shit, everything is perfect and hunky-dory. Like, that's fantasy. That's fairy tale, you know. In the real world, like you have to actually put in the work. I feel like in the reverse, there may be something that you may need to take credit for. And that would be probably something that maybe you don't want to look at. You're like, you know what? I put up with everybody's bullshit. I've done this. Like, I don't need to apologize for that. But this card is saying you might need to atone for something. You might need to say sorry. You might need to make amends. And that's how you answer your call. That's how you rise to the occasion. If you're not in a relationship, this card might indicate that you're stuck in like an old way of thinking, an old thought pattern, and you're just like not ready. That you're not ready for a relationship because you still have your own stuff that you need to work through. Maybe you've got like some of this stuff closer to home that you need to weed through before you're ready to be in a relationship. Card 6, how might I improve my health, work life, and organization? Queen of Swords in the reverse. Again, I feel like this is a difficult decision. I feel like this would be putting yourself first, putting your health, that could be physical or mental, okay, or spiritual, but I feel like you're putting yourself first. That might require you to kind of come off a little bit as a bitch. It might require you to be somewhat aloof. If you are dealing, I'm not diagnosing anybody through the cards, but if you're dealing with people with, I'm just going to say narcissistic tendencies or qualities, just because like somebody does something that is narcissistic doesn't make them exactly a narcissist. But anyways, if you're dealing with somebody with narcissistic qualities, you know, I'm really drawn to her throne. To me, it reminds me of gray rocking. Making yourself as uninteresting as possible. So the person loses interest in you and goes off to find somebody else that they're going to get their supply from. And when they leave, when they walk out that door, you don't go chasing them. You just let them leave. Okay, good riddance, block, that's it, done. That's literally the best way to get toxic people out of your life, is to let them leave when they leave. Now, if you are attached to certain items, certain possessions, but it's really not serving you, like they don't even have a purpose for why they're there. It's just like, oh, I just don't want to get rid of it. I just can't let it go. This could be making that harsh decision, like, okay, I'm going to look at this realistically and understand that I don't actually need this, and I'm going to make this hard decision and let it go. This could also be hiring an expert, bringing in some sort of like clutter coach, okay, and helping to make those decisions for you, and just really showing some restraint, not holding on to everything for sentimental reasons. If you don't have the space, then you just simply don't have the space to hold on to everything for sentimental value. Card 7. This is how you can make stronger and healthier personal and professional relationships. These will be like your one-to-one relationships. The Hanged Man. like this, take a time out, really listen to what the other person is saying, and try looking at it from their perspective. It doesn't mean you need to agree with them, but you are looking at it with a whole new perspective. I love his little swim trunks. I'm going to turn him upside down so you can get a good look at him. And before you react, before you say anything, before you do anything, just like taking a moment to chill. Maybe you take some time to meditate. Maybe you take some time to do some pranayama, some breath work, you know, but I feel like you're not making rash decisions. You're not rushing to say yes. You're not rushing to say no. You're really thinking about it. Maybe you're even saying no. You know what? I can't. I'm a little tied up that weekend. My hands are tied. I can't. I'm sorry. Maybe you're saying that. Card 8, how to handle changes, new beginnings, and endings in the upcoming year. The 8 of Pentacles. Keep yourself busy. I love it. Find yourself a hobby. What do you love doing? Do it. I feel like this would be like a hands-on hobby. Something that you enjoy doing. Maybe you already enjoy this hobby or you pick up a new one. But I feel like you've got to stay busy. You can't let your mind start to get the best of you. Because maybe then you call in these people back into your life out of boredom or out of habit, and then you find yourself in the same toxic loop again. Card 9, what needs my attention in regards to learning and education? Here we have the High Priestess in the reverse. All right, I feel like you do have some sort of connection with your intuition. You do have some sort of connection to a gift. And it's time for you to share that gift with others. But you're hesitant. You're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I know enough. I don't know if I'm ready to share this. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know how other people will receive it. I don't know, fill in the blank, whatever. But like, you're keeping that within. You're like, yeah, I have this. It's mine. I don't want to share it. I feel like this card is saying you might need to share it in an education or group setting. Perhaps you need to find a buddy who has the same interests as you. You guys can bounce ideas off one another's heads. Maybe if you're ready, maybe you share your knowledge. Maybe you consider putting yourself out there in whatever capacity makes sense to your situation. Are you ready to teach? Are you ready to get a job in that field? Are you ready to spark a conversation with someone who's interested in it, but you're like, oh, I couldn't possibly comment on that post on social media because it's public, and then what would my friends and family think? Card 10. This is what you need to celebrate in regards to your reputation and your achievements. Here we have the 9 of Cups. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is kind of piggybacking over here and over here on this hobby. I feel like you are good at something. You've achieved something. I'm thinking it might have something to do with perhaps your mystical self, and you're hiding it. To me, these remind me of trophies. Like, this guy's embracing it. He's like, oh, look at you, beautiful trophy. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of myself. Look what I've accomplished. Look at this thing. It reminds me of what I've done. But you're hiding all of yours in the closet. You're like, oh, look at all of these things that I've done. But nope, nobody can see it. They're mine. I feel like this card is saying, polish it up and show it off. Talk to somebody about it. Put yourself out there. Pat yourself on the back. Let people know. This is what you need to do for a healthy social life. The Wheel of Fortune. Take a chance. Take a chance. Maybe it doesn't go exactly the way it plays out in your head. That could be good, that could be bad, but your card is in the upright. chances are it's going to be better than it's playing out in your head. Take a chance. Say yes. After you've thought about the situation. You know, if it's like one of those toxic situations, then I don't think so. But if you don't think it's going to be like that, then say yes. How to embrace my mystical life, my subconscious, and my inner magic. The Knight of Wands. Oh my gosh, you've been through a lot, but guess what, babe? You're still standing. Nobody bested you. You're still there. I'm really drawn to these beginning cards, you know, like the people that I feel are in your life or have been in your life. I kind of feel like they're still there. Maybe they won't be so receptive of your mystical life, of what's going on in your subconscious. Maybe they won't embrace your inner magic, but you know what? It's okay. Look at all of those wands standing behind you. Those are people who came out and like said something or like, and like whatever. You have those wands now. And those people will remove themselves. Maybe it's about being true to yourself. Like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. I'm tired of hiding. You don't have to like me, but I'm done hiding. I'm done pretending. This is your advice card. Six of Cups. Oh, I love it. I don't know if you need to reach out to an old friend, somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time. I don't know. I feel like there's somebody in your life that you need to reconnect with. Maybe this person resurfaces. Maybe you're the person that reaches out. I feel like that's somebody from your childhood, somebody from your past. Maybe you guys are on similar paths. And maybe you guys had to go your own separate ways to sort your shit out, you know? And then now that you're like, you guys are coming back to that same path, and this person's going to reemerge. And when it happens, that's when you say yes. This card says music. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. What kind of music are you listening to? Is it uplifting? Is it healing? Or is it depressing? What kind of energetic level is it vibrating on? Let's see how this card is going to tie in with this card. The Mystical Shaman. Ooh, I love it. Maybe it's time to listen to some shamanic drumming or something. Let's see what this card says. Card 38. Card 38. The essence of this card. This is the symbol of the mythmaker and storyteller who is neither made of nor defined by the story. Instead, he observes it, evolves through it, perceives all aspects of it. In so doing, the mystical shaman represents the ability to dream a new story, a new myth into being. He dances between worlds, wearing the cloak of the world loosely around his shoulders, and sings the world into being. He reminds us to be in the world and travel through it, but not to be defined by it, or become too attached to the experience. This is the symbol of true alchemy, for all elements of life have a spiritual aspect and a material one. When we remember this, all manner of miracles and manifestations are possible. The invitation of this card is when the mystical shaman appears, you are invited to consider the ability to live without attachment. You are called to create and dream your life, to act on inspiration and divine impulse without fixating on a known story of success or achievement. Can you impartially observe the stories you tell yourself and others? What if you could become a mystery to yourself? Who would you become if you stopped telling the tales that have defined you up until now? You do not have to live in a story that has roots in the past. What if there were no need to explain you to anyone, not even to yourself? The way to your most extraordinary life is to become a blank slate and allow the form of your dreams and desires to show up as it will. This is a sign of manifesting, a life beyond your wildest dreams. The medicine of this card is be careful what you pray for. The mystical shaman cautions you against relentless attachment to a certain form that you think will make you happy, prosperous, famous, loved, etc. However, in seeing your dream come into being, had you considered what you were willing to sacrifice for it? Perhaps you have been telling yourself a certain story for so long, the story that only when you reach this particular goal will you be happy, that you will arrive. You didn't even notice. You're no longer the person who wanted those outcomes. You may have moved beyond those stories. Perhaps it's time to admit to yourself that you need to imagine a new story that is more in alignment with who you have become. This is just one moment in millions of moments in the continuum of life. Let it go. Let it be just a story and move on. Better tales are waiting to be told. Oh my goodness, I love it. Yes, maybe these people that you keep trying to please, these people that are draining you, you thought that, oh, if I could just make this person happy, then I would be happy because this person would love me. But it's like, maybe you're not that person anymore. Maybe you don't need that. Why did you achieve all of these things only to hide them? You're being called to create and dream your life. So what kind of life will you create this lunar year? Pile 3, this concludes your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, gems. If you have selected Folklore Tarot, Pile 4, this reading is for you. Let me get my little, oops, a little crooked. Okay, card number 1. This card represents your personality, how others see you, and how you are coming across to others, okay? Ooh, the Empress. Okay, so I see you as a very nurturing person. I don't have all of these little people memorized, so I'm just going to go ahead and read which folk story this is related to. I don't know how to say this, but it's Asai Ya, who is the goddess of fertility and the earth and worshipped by the Akan people of Ghana. Thursday is her sacred day, and farmers abstain from working the land and pour out libations in her honor. So I don't know if people are doing something to honor you, or if you have like a special day to you that's sacred. Maybe somebody brings you coffee in bed on this certain day just to show their appreciation for all of the things that you do for others, or I don't know, like some special little ritual that people are doing for you. She also watches over the dead who are buried in the ground, and the living can connect to their ancestors through her. So Asai Ya teaches us to appreciate the land, to be grateful for what we are given, and give in return whenever we are able. So I kind of feel like that's kind of how others look upon you, kind of like a role model. You inspire other people, not only to take care of other people, to take care of the land, and to take care of themselves also. It's a very motherly quality. You might even be the person, and it doesn't even have to be, you don't even have to be a female, but I could see this even as like you having the house. I don't know if you have children or not, but you being the house where all of your kids' friends come over. And, you're like second mom. You're the person that people come to in the neighborhood with their problems, and you take care of them. Okay. This is how to handle your finances and possessions. So this would be like in the upcoming lunar year. Here we have the Hermit in the reverse. Okay, so I feel like you cannot hide. You can't hide from your responsibilities. You definitely have to face them head on. I'm going to see which little folklore this hermit dude fish is from. Let's see. So this is the salmon of wisdom, a creature of Celtic lore that began as an ordinary salmon, but after consuming 9 hazelnuts that had fallen into the well of wisdom, it gained all the knowledge in the world. It is much sought after by fishermen, for whoever eats it would gain that wisdom as well. So I'm really drawn to the symbol of Pisces right here at the bottom of the card. Pisces are very emotional creatures. Nobody feels like a Pisces. When it comes to your finances, when it comes to your possessions, I think this card is saying you can't run from it. And Pisces are also runners. I noticed that it was a Pisces after I said the whole thing about like you can't hide from your problems. So you can't hide from them, and Pisces are runners. When Pisces are operating in the lower side, they're not operating at their full potential. They run when they're intimidated. They run when they get hurt, when they're wounded, when they're scared. So I feel like this would be a call to just like not allow yourself to get overly emotional about your possessions, about your finances, to look at things like really ground yourself. You know what I mean? Ground yourself, perhaps doing some sort of like a grounding practice. Like you can do like earthing, you can do a grounding meditation, and really looking at all of the information that's available to you. And then make your decision based on that. Don't just make emotional decisions, and don't hide. That's not going to serve you well in this upcoming lunar year. Card 3. This is how to look at your day-to-day life and activities. Here we have the Sun. Oh my goodness. So this is a well shuffled deck, and right off the bat we have 3 major arcana cards. So major arcana cards, these cards have a little bit more weight than the rest of the tarot cards. That's not to say that the other ones are not important, but they do have more weight. This is a recurring theme. This keeps coming up. I know this has come up in at least 2 of the other readings. The Sun card in this exact position for card number 3. How to look at day-to-day life activities. I think this is going to be a recurring theme for the year for a lot of people. I think this is just like finding your bliss, finding your joy. I think this is a phoenix rising from the ashes. Let me just double check on that. Yeah, the phoenix is a fiery bird known for its immortality. At the end of its long life, it bursts into flames and is reborn from the ashes. The cycle of death and rebirth combines ancient wisdom with youthful innocence and optimism. It teaches us to improve ourselves as we get older, while also staying in touch with our inner child. I feel like this is just like really going after what sets your heart on fire, even though it's the day-to-day, the mundane, the boring tasks. When you're doing things like cleaning the toilet, you know, when you're doing things like making lunch, making dinner, washing your dishes, you know, like put some music on, put something on that's uplifting, that makes you feel good, and still find the joy, still find the beauty in the day-to-day. Don't fall into this like whole, oh, I don't want to do it, I'm going to run from this. I know that's having to do with your finances and your possessions, but I'm thinking like if it's possessions, you know, take care of your possessions. Pay attention to their upkeep. Find the joy in it. Like, oh yeah, for example, my toilet keeps running. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that little bobber thing that goes up and down, or if it's the little flap. So I'm going to do that after I finish recording this video. I'm going to put on some happy music, and I'm going to be grateful that I have the ability, I have the means to buy the parts, and that I have fresh running water. And I'm able to, you know, to do this. I'm able to have a toilet. You know, I have a functioning bathroom. So yeah, like finding the joy in your day-to-day life activities. What might you experience in your relationships with family and close friends who you consider to be family? Here we have the Queen of Wands. Ooh. Queen of Wands. I feel like you might have some fun parties and gatherings to go to. The Queen of Wands, I think of her like the hostess with the mostest. She's in touch with her shadow. That might be something that you help people work through, or that others may help you work through. But more than likely, I feel like this is by getting dressed up, feeling sexy, feeling beautiful, and stepping into your confidence. Queen of Wands, she's not easily intimidated by anybody. She doesn't let anybody push her around. You can't poke fun at her and get the best of her. She's very creative. She owns her sexuality. The goddess depicted here is Pele, the Hawaiian goddess of fire and volcanoes. According to legend, she was exiled from Tahiti due to her temper and fled to Hawaii in a canoe. There, she made a home for herself on the Big Island, residing within the active volcano. I don't know, I'm probably going to botch this name, of Kilauea. Kilauea. As much as the goddess destroys with molten lava, she also creates. The islands are constantly being reshaped by new eruptions. Here, the Queen of Wands sits with her crown of lehua blossoms, a plant that is sacred to the goddess, since they are the first trees to grow on newly formed lava flows. She shows us that passion can create beautiful things, but it can be destructive if we're not careful. So I'm really drawn to how it was talking about how she creates. Talking about the blossoms. And again, I'm feeling like this whole like Empress vibes here. Like it's very nurturing. Yes, you know, and we do have two fiery things here. We've got the Phoenix and then we've got Pele. So I'm wondering, like, pile 4 person, do you have a bit of a temper? I feel like you're very loving, you're very nurturing, but you also have a sensitive side. And when that sensitive switch is switched on, you may have a tendency to want to hide or lash out. So yeah, just keeping that in check. This is your potential for your love life and your romance. King of Wands. Oh my gosh. I love it. King of Wands. He's a sexy dude. He's really confident and he's a great lover. So that is good. I'm really drawn to how he's like a genie. He's coming out of a lamp. And I'm feeling like you're going to be open to trying something new. You're going to be open to experimenting. I'm thinking like how like you get 3 wishes, you know, your wish is my command. Like you might be willing to step out of your comfort zone, letting the other person take the lead. Let's see. I'm going to go to this genie dude here. Let's see. King of Wands. What does he have to say? Sometimes called jinn or genies are humanoid creatures made from smokeless flame. Tales of the jinn originated prior to Islam. They have been integrated into Islamic beliefs. The jinn are said to live all around us but are invisible, although they sometimes choose to show themselves in various forms. Like humans, jinn are mortal. They eat, drink, reproduce. However, they can live for thousands of years and have magical powers. Okay, what is your love life, your romance? What is your superpower? I feel like own it, embody it, and have fun. One thing to keep in mind is that the jinn can be tricksters. So make sure that you're not falling into trickery, because that might come back to bite you in the ass with some bad karma. Okay, card 6. How might I improve my health and work life, my organization? Here we have the 4 of Cups in the reverse. Okay, I feel like there may be something that is presented to you and you're not going to like it. You're going to be like, what? I don't think so. How dare this person tell me that? I don't want to hear it. It's going to be like a harsh truth. And might rub you the wrong way, but you know what? Sometimes the thing that you need the most is the thing that you want the least. So keep that in mind. Maybe your doctor says you need to eat some more vegetables, or you need to lay off of this indulgence, or you need to exercise, or you need to, I don't know, put your laundry away after you wash it, like whatever. There's going to be something that you don't want to do. but you need to just take a deep breath. Don't hide from it. And just do it. Just own it. Card 7. How can I make stronger and healthier personal and professional relationships? These would be like your one-on-one relationships. Ooh, here we have the moon. Okay, another major arcana card. I feel like this would be looking out for deception. I don't know what you do professionally. I would say to look out for people who are trying to pull the wool over your eyes. That would also be like, especially if you're dealing with contracts or legal type things, read the fine print. Make sure you fully understand what the relationship is that you're getting involved in. Does this person have ulterior motives? The werewolf is a common creature in European folklore. Though they are generally indistinguishable from humans, they are forced to transform into wolves during the full moon. These legends are often a representation of the darker nature of humanity, the fears, doubts, and aggressive tendencies that are frequently hidden. According to the tales, people can become werewolves if they are bitten or scratched by another. Oh my goodness, don't let somebody turn you into a werewolf. Through this metaphor, we can see how fear, aggression, and false information can spread through the population. The moon reveals all of these illusions and anxieties so that we are better able to understand and confront them. Yeah. So I would definitely say to look out for that in other people, but also to look in the mirror and recognize, when am I falling into this? Where am I being a werewolf? Where am I scratching or biting other people? Am I trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes? Am I acting out of fear of the unknown? Sometimes when we get scared, we lash out. This is how to handle changes, new beginnings, and endings. The Knight of Swords in the reverse. I think that's a Pegasus. I feel like this card is saying slow down. I'm really drawn to like the horse, you know, like how horses get skittish and they get startled easily. I'm wondering how you react, pile 4 person, when you get scared. When you get really uncomfortable, what is your go-to response? I feel like when you're acting in your highest potential, that you have a lot of strength. You have a lot of charisma. You act from a place of love and you're able to nurture. But when you get scared, you have the tendency to lash out and hurt people. I feel like this would just be like slow down. I'm really drawn to the hearts that are all over the horse. When there's a change, when there's a new beginning, like you don't really know how it's going to go, you know, just kind of like sort it out before you make a decision, before you say something that you can't take back. Stop and see the bigger picture. You've got wings. You know, you can fly above the situation and get an aerial view of what's really going on. You don't need to stay down here like in the moon card. You can like kind of rise above. Take a time out before you make a decision. Let me see what it says about Pegasus. I just like all these little folk tales. So Pegasus from Greek mythology, born of the blood of Medusa after she was slain by Perseus. This noble steed later aided Perseus in his quest to slay the sea monster, Cetus, I don't know if I pronounced that right, and rescue the princess Andromeda. Pegasus also aided Bellerophon, another hero, in slaying the Chimera. The Knight of Swords is a call to action, to stop dreaming and start doing. Pegasus is here to aid you in that quest. But your card is in the reverse, so I feel like it's a call to slow down, not to take swift action, to really make sure you understand the situation. Card 9. This is what needs my attention regarding learning and education. The 10 of Wands. Where are you overextending yourself? I feel like you've taken on a heavy load, and that might be because people just see you as this empress figure. Like, oh, pile 4 person's just so kind and so giving. You know, this person can just keep giving, keep extending, keep helping me. Some of these burdens are going to have to be put down. And you're going to need to learn how to tactfully handle those situations. Maybe you're taking on a heavy load in school. Maybe you're trying to learn too many things at once. Those can be hobbies. Those can be pertaining to your job. Those can just be things that you enjoy learning. But I feel like you need to slow down and maybe like fully grasp all of one topic at a time. Now, because this is a collective reading, now if you don't find yourself like, you know what, that just doesn't resonate, that could also be learning how to help others, because you are over here like this Empress person. You know, if you don't feel like you're overextended, you're not being pulled in too many different directions, you know what I mean? You don't feel like you're being taken advantage of, then you might be learning how to help others. Maybe you're reading self-help books, or you're listening to lectures, or you're taking a course, or you're learning something in school, something that's going to help benefit other people. Something that's going to help people who are feeling like they have taken on the weight of the world. Like they don't know how to get out of their situation, their circumstance. And maybe you teach them with the spirit of the phoenix. Like, you know what? This is where you are. You're going to put some of these wands down. We're going to light that shit on fire, and we're going to use that to help you rise from these ashes. Maybe that's why you're over here. Like the Queen of Wands, you're Pele. Like, you know what? Like, that's just too much. You got to put that down. Let me show you how to light a fire with these wands. And we're going to create something new. I'm going to start from scratch. This is what to celebrate regarding your reputation and your achievements. Here we have the 9 of Cups. To me, this is a card of really feeling satisfied. I feel like you've achieved a lot. You've got a lot to be proud of, and I feel like other people see that too. Other people appreciate it. Maybe that's why so many people like being around you. Maybe that like they want to like soak up some of that good stuff. But I feel like, yeah, you do have a good reputation. You have a reputation for being caring, for being nurturing, for being compassionate. And Cups, that's the suit of emotions. Can also represent your relationships with other people. And I feel like that's really good. You have a lot to be grateful for there. I feel like this will be taking stock, taking inventory, maybe doing some gratitude practice. That could be journaling. That could be a gratitude meditation. That could even be a walking meditation where you're just like rattling off quietly to yourself, like with each step, like all of the things that you have to be grateful for, the things that you've achieved, things that you've overcome, things that you've done well in your life. I feel like that's just like really stopping, taking pause, and just acknowledging like, yeah, I did that. I did that. Badass. This is what you need to do for a healthy social life. Ooh, the Knight of Wands. Oh my gosh, we got like so many Wands cards over here. Like we got like a bunch of fire in this area. The Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands kind of reminds me of like normally like frat boy energy. I don't know if you need to go to a party. But yeah, I feel like this would be hanging out, going out with friends, allowing yourself to be the center of attention, allowing yourself to bask, like, and just take a compliment, like, yes, thank you. It's not a time to really be overly humble or overly shy. This card right here, it reminds me of John Travolta. What's that movie? I'm having a brain fart. I think it's Staying Alive, where he's like, at the end of the movie, where he's like, I want to strut, and he's like strutting. He's like, yeah, like he's just like, that's what this unicorn is doing. He's strutting, his horn held high, his little goatee hanging, and he's like, yes, I'm gonna strut. Like it's just basking in your awesomeness, not really being a braggy bragger, but just like, yeah, owning it. You're the shit. Maybe it's putting your best face out there. Maybe it's, posting some of your wins on social media. I'm going to see what it says about the unicorn. The unicorn is a horse or goat-like creature with a single prominent horn on its forehead. It was a popular image in medieval tapestries and heraldry, but depictions of this creature go back to antiquity, particularly in the Middle East. It is also similar to, oh, I'm going to botch this name too. It is also similar to the Quillin, I don't know. Quillin from Chinese mythology. The unicorn is a symbol of grace and purity, and its horn is said to have magical healing properties. According to legend, this wild and elusive creature can only be tamed by a young maiden. Unicorns are popular in fantasy genres as well as children's imaginations. It says that the Knight of Wands calls back to childlike innocence and desire for adventure. I definitely get the whole adventure vibe. I'm really drawn to, where was it? Said to have magical healing properties. I don't know if that means anything to you, but maybe, let me see, what was this? For healthy social life. Yeah, maybe for healthy social life, maybe you need to do things and hang out with people who are going to be a little bit more focused on allowing you to live your healthiest life. Yeah, you might be mingling with a new crowd. I'm not too sure. But I feel like this would be like really strutting your stuff, hanging out with people who are going to allow you and not be talking crap to you. Like, oh, what do you think, you're too good for us? Or, oh, you used to do this. Like, you don't care. You're like, yeah, whatever. Well, this is what I do now. And you're confident. You don't need to punish your body in order to make other people feel more comfortable or make other people happy. Card 12, how to embrace my mystical life, subconscious, and your inner magic. King of Swords. Oh my gosh. Oh, and he's got this little, the little ankh right here. I was watching Gaia the other day. They were talking about those possibly being like little man purses, and that could take them to like teleport. Anyways, I definitely feel like there's like a magical nod going on in this card. So let me see. King of Swords. Thoth, the ancient Egyptian god of magic, wisdom, knowledge, and writing. Okay, hello. Does it get any more magical than that? He's most often portrayed as a man with the head of an ibis, or sometimes as a baboon. He's the scribe of the gods and, according to legend, the inventor of hieroglyphs, as well as the practices of law, philosophy, and magic. His roles included recording history and stories, settling disputes among the gods, aiding to judge the dead, and otherwise upholding balance and order in the world. The King of Swords teaches us to stay impartial and level-headed as we pursue facts and knowledge to discern the truth. Yes, how to embrace my mystical life. I feel like that would just be learning. The swords are the suit of knowledge, the suit of intellect. So I feel like this would really be deep diving. This would not be picking up 15 different books and leaving them on your shelf. This would be picking a book and going to cover, really soaking in that knowledge, really immersing yourself in it, and then putting it into practice before going on to the next one. This would not be something that you do on Saturday or on Sunday. This would be something that you dive into on a daily basis, really immersing yourself into it. It doesn't have to be a book, but I'm just using that as an example. Whatever your mystical interest is, continuing to educate yourself on it and practice it. This next card, this is your advice card. Ooh, the Fool in the reverse. Don't be afraid. You're gonna make mistakes. Yeah, you're gonna get shit wrong. But that's okay, because guess what? That's where your most important lessons are gonna come from. Because if you make a mistake, it's gonna stick in your head. You're gonna commit that to memory. Like, oh my God, yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. Allow yourself to have the mind of a beginner. The Queen of Wands, you don't care if you make mistakes. You're like, yeah, oh my God, remember that time when I did this? I remember the first time I made soap. I did it in a crock pot. Okay, so I guess that'll be the second time I made soap. The first time I did it cold process. So the second time I made soap, I did it in my crock pot, and I went to unplug my immersion blender, and I accidentally unplugged my my crock pot. So I'm, you know, cooking it all day, and I'm like, why the hell won't this stupid soap cook? And it started getting hard, and it was hours, and then I finally figured it out. And guess what? I never make that mistake again. So yeah, don't be afraid of your mistakes. That's how you learn. I'm going to go and read this bunny. I think that, I'm trying to remember what it is, but I can't. This bunny always cracks me up. Let me see. What is it called? Jackalope. It's the jackalope. See, it's got horns like an antelope. The jackalope. Okay. The jackalope is a creature from American folklore described as a jackrabbit with the antlers of a deer. While the jackrabbit, a type of hare, represents swiftness and intuition, the deer represents doe-eyed innocence. These animals combine their traits to create a quintessential representation of the forest. Though many creatures of legend are fearsome, the jackalope is more often seen as cute, friendly, and whimsical. It is content to hop through the forest and explore the world. The Fool teaches us to revel in simple joys and be ready to learn and grow. I'm also drawn to this symbol right here on the Fool card. That's the symbol of salt. Not only is salt a really good protection tool, it also reminds me of salt of the earth. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from you, that you're like a salt of the earth kind of person. Somebody who's really grounded and who's honest. Obviously, you're human, right? But I feel like for the most part, you try to be very grounded and honest. You still have some things that you're working through, which is fine because you're alive, right? Very cool. Let's see what this card has to say. Author. You have a book inside of you that wishes to be expressed. Make the time to write it. So I don't know if you are an author. I don't know if you like writing posts on social media, or perhaps you have a blog or a podcast, but I feel like you have something to say. This could also have to do with journaling, but I feel like it's really like, I do feel like people come to you, okay, and that you help people with their problems. But so I feel like you have a story to put out. Let's see what this card has to say. This is going to tie in with that one. The owl. Oh my gosh. Again, a creature of wisdom. Let's go to the book and see what it says for the owl. Card 39. The essence of this card. Owl is the master of the night. She can see situations with perfect clarity. Oh my gosh, that's the vibe I was getting over here with the Knight of Swords, like rising above the situation. More so when it is dark, and it is able to discern truth when others are sightless. She helps you find your light and your lightness in the darkest moments of your life, and to embrace the night as your ally. Owl can bring you messages from the invisible world. She opens your ears so that you may hear the voices of the ancestors, and you may acquire their wisdom and make it your own. Oh my gosh. I'm going back to this where I was saying, like, does it get any more magical than that? Than Thoth? So I don't know if you have the gift of clairaudience where you can hear things, but if you do have that gift, then that's definitely speaking to that. Look around you and notice every detail, and find the hidden messages brought to you by Owl. Do not shoot the messenger. Be grateful to the friend who shows you what you have not wanted to see until now. Observe all the facets of the diamond without judgment. Remember that the facets you dislike are often mirrors of the parts of you that you do not want to recognize. Do not be afraid of the truth, as it will become your compass. The medicine of this card is Owl guards against self-deception and insists that your motives be pure and transparent to all. What is the message that you are not hearing? The situation you are not seeing with clarity? Owl invites you to wait patiently. Bide your time until it is right to act. Oh my gosh, what card was that? 6, 7, 8. Learning and attention. Yeah, I felt like that one was go slow. This one too. Then do so decisively with no hesitation or remorse. Yes. Let me see. What was 3 and 4 again? Day-to-day activities and relationships with family and close friends who are like family. Yes. Then act without remorse. Yeah, because you're chasing your joy. You're living your life. You're living each day to its fullest. You can harness some of that little Pele spirit when you need to. You're like, okay, you know what? We just need to. We just need to remove some of this and start fresh. So yeah, I love that. So pile 4, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, pile 5. If you have selected Baroque Tarot, this reading is for you. Okay, card number 1. This is your personality, how other people see you, and how you are coming across to others. I don't know if you can hear that. That's my neighbor outside. He's playing with his little toys. He's a toddler, so he might be making random noises. Okay, so here we have the 4 of Swords in the reverse. I feel like people see you, you're coming across as somebody who's tired, but who is not allowing themselves to rest. I'm really drawn to this window frame right here, and it kind of looks like it's on fire. You're coming across like you're on the verge of being burned out. You're trying to press through, you're trying to keep going, but you have all of these things weighing heavily on your chest. And if you keep trying to press through without taking a rest, without taking a time out, without giving yourself rest and recharge moments, these swords are they're gonna run you through. This is how to handle your finances and possessions in the upcoming lunar year. Here we have Strength in the reverse. I feel like you may not have the inner strength to tackle this on your own. You might need to confide in a trusted person, whether that be friend, family, or professional, that can have your back, nudging you as gently or not gently as you need to kind of tell you like, hey, you know what? Like, you're not doing this alone. I've got you. I've got your back. We're going to get through this together. I'm not saying that they're going to be supporting you, but they're going to be like, kind of like coaching you along. Getting your finances in order. Getting your possessions in order. That can also mean as things arise regarding your possessions, things that need maintenance, things that need upkeep, things that need to be repaired, that you don't just let them pile up. Somebody who helps you make a plan with actionable steps, kind of like a to-do list, to keep you going, to make sure you keep taking these baby steps forward. You may possess that inner strength. Maybe you're not approaching your finances and your possessions with grace and love. Maybe you lash out. Maybe you blame others. Maybe you are resentful, and that comes out. And this card would be a reminder, an encouragement to come from a place of love, to take ownership of things that are not other people's faults, not to blame other people for your situation. This is how to look at day-to-day life and activities. Here we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I would see this as like taking the first step normally, but your card is in the reverse. I feel like this would be not being afraid of making the first step, of not allowing yourself to become so stuck, almost paralyzed, like, oh, I can't do that. This problem's so big. I don't even know where to start. So I'm just not going to start. I feel like this would also be making sure that you look at your day-to-day life and your activities maturely. I'm kind of getting like teenager vibes from this card being in the reverse. And so stereotypically, you get teenagers and they're like, oh, you know, like I don't want to make my bed. I don't want to put my clothes away. I don't want to do my chores. I don't want to do the dishes. I don't want to unload the dishwasher. I don't want to take the trash out. Don't fall in to that pattern. You've got to keep taking those baby steps. Just do one thing at a time. So even if you have to make a list, I'm sure there's apps for that, but you can also do like the old-fashioned way, pencil and paper, you know, pen and paper, and just make yourself a list, get yourself a planner, start doing them one at a time. This is what you might experience in regards to your relationships with family and close friends who you consider to be your family, depending on your situation. Here we have the Eight of Cups. That may actually be why you find yourself like this. Your relationships or people who are close to you that you consider to be family, either they are not happy and someone may go off looking to find themselves or whatever it is that they feel is missing, or this very well may be you. Going off to search. I'm really drawn to how the light appears to be coming from his chest. It's just kind of like his heart is leading the way through this darkness. He doesn't really know where he's going. He just knows that he has to go. Something is missing and he has to find it. This is your potential for your love life, for your romance, this upcoming lunar year. Here we have the Ten of Cups in the reverse. I see this as not so much of a happy card. This could be an ending of a relationship or the realization that this relationship is just not working. What you choose to do with that information, it would depend on your situation. Do you end it or do you seek a solution with help from an outside person? But this is a cycle. Whenever there's an ending, there's always a new beginning. How might I improve my health and work life, my organization? Here we have the Hermit. I feel like you might need to spend some time alone. Detach yourself from whatever it is that's tying you up. Whatever it is that you think that you need to keep on pressing through. Really sort things out. I feel like this would be a time for introspection. Some sort of internal practice, like yoga, prayer, meditation. Perhaps it's Tai Chi, whatever, but I feel like you're really going within and sorting things out. What is going on with your health? What is going on with your work life? Why am I so frazzled? Maybe you're running around trying to do too many things and you just don't have time to take care of your health. If you're overextending at work, maybe you don't have time to organize, clear clutter, or whatever, because you're just too busy doing other things. And this card is saying, like, just take time for you. I would definitely recommend a rest and recharge day, and then a day to start working on you. One day at a time. Taking that time to make that healthy meal. Taking that time to take care of your body 20 minutes a day if your activity level is 0. 20 minutes of movement. Get up and walk. Get up and stretch, move your body around. You know, really taking time for yourself, challenging your work. No, I can't come in on my day off. No, I can't work that extra shift. No, I can't cover that person. No, I'm not going to cancel my vacation. How can I make stronger, healthier, personal and professional relationships? These would be like your one-on-one relationships. Here we have the moon in the reverse. I feel like this would be really taking time to see the situation for what it is, making sure the wool is not being pulled over your eyes. Are you being deceived? I would be really focusing on this, especially if you are dealing with any type of legal issues or contracts, things of that nature. Really making sure you understand the bigger picture. This is how to handle changes, new beginnings, and endings. Here we have the Eight of Swords. So normally I would say this person needs to cut these things off of her, remove the blindfold and remove herself from the situation. But this is how to handle changes, new beginnings, and endings. And this person has put themselves in these swords. Hands are bound. And the eyes are covered. When there's a change that you can't control, if there's an ending, maybe it's too painful to go back and look. Maybe you don't need to be scrolling on that person's social media profile. Maybe you don't need to be replaying a certain playlist you guys used to enjoy together. Maybe you don't need to surround yourself with all of their pictures. Maybe you need to stop yourself from reaching out and trying to force a situation, trying to force relationships with people that are unhealthy for you. This is what needs my attention regarding learning and education. Here we have the Two of Cups in the reverse. I feel like you really need to learn and be educated on what makes a healthy relationship, on how you can heal yourself, on what makes a good partner. What makes a bad partner? And even looking at yourself, like, where do I fall into that? So you can be better suited for the next relationship you enter. Again, this can be romantic or this can be non-romantic, but I feel like that's what you need to learn. I feel like you have difficulty in that area. This is what you need to celebrate regarding your reputation and your achievements. Here we have the Magician. I love it. You've literally got all the power. You have all the tools at your disposal. You may not know it. You may have forgotten that fact. But you possess everything you need to create your dream life. You just have to put these tools to use. You actually have the ability to counter anything anybody brings at you. Doesn't mean that you need to endure people treating you like shit, but you know, maybe you use that sword and you cut off unhealthy attachments with people. You are more powerful than you give yourself credit for. This is what you need to do for a healthy social life. The Fool. Oh my gosh. Do you need to start over? Do you need a new beginning? Do you need to move away from everything that you know to be true? Do you need to allow yourself to make mistakes? Allow yourself to start over? Oh, but if I leave, I'm going to have to start all over. Oh, if I quit this job, I'm going to whatever. If I leave this unhealthy relationship, I have to start all over. Maybe. But is it better than where you currently are? Only you can answer that question. Maybe it's putting yourself out there. Been surrounded by people who've made you feel less than, who've kind of shattered your self-esteem, made you feel unworthy, and you're like, I just don't want to go out. I want my friends to see me like this. Start doubting yourself. Maybe it's just like, yeah, I'm going to put myself out there again. I'm going to go to this event and try it out. I'm going to go to this new place, try to meet some new people. I'm going to take up this hobby, try something new and exciting. This is how to embrace your mystical life, your subconscious, and your inner magic. The Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles, she's very comfortable. I definitely feel, again, like a rest and recharge day. Perhaps a spa day is in order. If you don't have the finances for that, then you know what? Like, do your own spa day at home. Use what you got. I feel like this card is asking you to look at your achievements. What have you done well in your life? What do you do well? What are you good at? Why do you love yourself? Do you love yourself? Allowing yourself to feel beautiful. And if you're a guy, allowing yourself to feel handsome. I feel like that would be creating some sort of sacred ritual around the beautification of your home, or your room, or your cubicle at work, or your desk, or, you know, maybe one room at a time, one drawer at a time. Making sure you get up in the day and you could take a shower, you get dressed, you're brushing your hair, you're getting ready. Take care of yourself. Allow yourself to feel beautiful. This is your advice card. King of Cups in the reverse. Ooh. When the King of Cups is in the upright, to me, he's like the ideal partner. He's strong, he's reliable, he's dependable. He can talk about his emotions without drowning in them. He's not afraid of surprises. He can handle them. But when he's in the reverse, the tiniest little thing is such a big deal. He gets overly emotional. He does not have control over his feelings. He doesn't know how to talk about them. And when he does, he has a tendency to use it as a weapon. This is your advice card, and it has to do with the King of Cups. So what is he saying to you? Are you embodying the King of Cups in the reverse? Is your partner, a child, a coworker? Who is your King of Cups in the reverse? And is that why you feel like you're in the position that you are? This King of Cups. What is that saying to you? Here it says school. The answer that you're seeking involves going to school. Do you need to go back to school? Are you considering going back to school? Are you a teacher? Do you need to go back to school to teach or to learn? This card is going to tie into this one, so let's see what it has to say. Here it says the upper world. Card 59. Let's see. Let's go to the book and see what it has to say for card 59, the upper world. The essence of this card: angels, divine helpers, the ancient ones, and all varieties of luminous beings populate the upper world. It is the place where you go to retrieve your destiny and find out who you will become. Discover your great potentials and undreamt of possibilities. It is also the place where the spirits of the dead arrive when they complete their journey to the light. The invitation of this card is the upper world is calling you to step into your fully realized self. Clear distractions so that you can move into a higher destiny. Do not fall to the temptation to craft a slightly more improved version of yourself. What you perceive as a problem or an obstacle is in fact the irritation you need to make the great leap. Remember, you cannot cross the Grand Canyon in 2 small jumps. The medicine of this card is ask your divine helpers for guidance. If the oracle has already spoken to you, do not ask for more guidance. Take what has been offered. Now you must deal with the lethargy and idleness. While support for a new destiny is not yet in place, a new destination is available to you if you act now. I kind of got that vibe here with the Page of Pentacles, where I was talking about how it kind of reminded me of your like stereotypical teenager. And then here with the 8 of Cups, how I felt like somebody, possibly you, was going to have to go and look for what's missing. And it says a new destination is available to you if you act now. So I feel like at some point during this Lunar New Year, you're going to feel as though a new place, a new destination is available to you. I feel like that would be the time to act. But in order to do so, do you need to go to school? What is that saying to you? I feel like that's a personal message for you. So, pile 5, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems.